Greetings. This video is going to be kind of like about the discovery of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, because we're going to take two really good things, a Tek-Lok on the one hand and plastic or Kydex sheaths, and we're going to marry those two things to come up with a great combination. I'm sure you're all familiar with Tek-Loks. They make it really easy to attach items to your gear. Tek-Loks are pretty cool. They open and close and then lock here on the bottom as well. And then a lot of us have Kydex sheaths for guns and knives and that kind of thing. And you'll find videos on YouTube where people will take Kydex or plastic sheaths and then try and drill them to get them to match up with maybe one or two holes of the Tek-Lok, and then use Chicago screws to attach the two of them. So I decided to embark on an experiment to see if I could get this K-bar TDI to mount to a belt using Tek-Lok, and if I could do it without any drilling or gluing. And I have found a solution. This is just an experimental solution. I haven't field tested it yet, but so far it seems really solid. You'll notice here the lockup is really good, and I haven't even used the final point of retention. So what is the idea? The idea here is that you have your Kydex sheath or your injection molded sheath, doesn't really matter, with a couple points of attachment. And then what you do is you get some paracord and you start weaving between the sheath and the Tek-Lok. And you notice I've got one cross in the back here and one cross in the front. And I'm going to explain this knot system here because that's kind of what makes the whole thing come together. So really simple, cross in the front, cross in the back, and notice that I'm using a lot more of the Tek-Lok in terms of attachment points than I would if I had to drill and maybe get one or two holes to line up. Okay, so the trickiest thing about this project, believe it or not, is to be able to get little aglets or tight ends for your paracord. That's the hardest part. Some of these holes, these are nice generous holes. The holes on the TDI case are really, really small. So what you have to do is you have to come here with a candle and then you have to crimp these ends down to get them really tight so that you can pass them through. Okay, there's one or two more tricks which I want to show you to get everything to come together. And the main trick for me is this knot. So this is something called a taut line hitch. And a taut line hitch lets you have a hitch that you can pass another line called the taut line through. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and do your weave. You're going to weave your paracord through the sheath, or it could be a gun sheath or a knife sheath, doesn't matter, and then through the Tek-Lok. And then you're going to tighten them down as best as you possibly can, and you're going to tie a taut line hitch. And I'll put a link. There are a lot of tutorials online that will show you how to tie a taut line hitch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a cable lock. And so what we're going to do now is just pass the taut line through the cable lock. So after, you can even come in here with pliers and just pull on this paracord, because it takes a while to get the slack out of the paracord, obviously, because there's a, I don't know, maybe almost a meter of rope that's weaved in here. Okay, so this is a standard cord lock. This is the Zen brand. I will also put a link in the description where you can purchase these on Amazon. And obviously you want to get the cord lock as far down on the taut line as you possibly can. And then this is kind of the standing end of the hitch. And notice that I've come up through the lock with the taut line, and now I'm going to go back through the other part of the lock. Notice these cords are going in opposite directions. Thinking as a scientist, I think this gives you better lockup and better dynamics, and the cord lock is less likely to come loose. And that's it. It's a solution not totally dissimilar, at least from appearance, from how HSGI tacos work, but I think really cool workable solution, and I'm looking forward to testing it. As I mentioned, haven't field tested it yet, but seems to be working really, really tight retention here. I can definitely hold on to the Tek-Lok and pull the knife out with no problem. I'm pretty happy with it. And I hope a lot of you will be able to productively now take Kydex sheaths that don't have convenient attachment points and be able to mate them with Tek-Loks. Don't blame me if your solution falls apart. As I mentioned, I'm just experimenting with this. If you have any improvements to the design, would love to hear from you. And happy Tek-Lok plus Kydex sheathing.